Hi YouTube, it's Maka, and I have decided to film a series called Behind the Lyric. What this series is going to entail is the meaning, the stories, everything why I write music, and specifically to individual songs that I have written, so I can dive in deep and really tell you guys, share my personal experiences, the inspiration, and everything to why I write songs. I've been a songwriter since I was probably 12, 13 years old. Since I was really little, I would sit on the playground, scribbling notes in a notebook, little lines here and there. Nothing was always complete, but I would have verses and choruses and whatnot, all just laying around. Or it'd be late at night and I'd be lying in bed, scribbling down my thoughts and the emotions that I would have in a more creative way. Some people would kind of just journal it or bullet point, but mine definitely came out more lyrical. I chose Turn My Life Around to be my first public song release to produce and actually fully complete because it was something that I was currently going through at the time. It was very relevant to my life, and I wanted my first piece of work to be, or my first public piece of work to be very meaningful. Whereas other songs that I have previously written, yes, it was still honest and truthful to me, but it wasn't as relevant as the situation I was going through in about the 2018 era. So I published the song in August of 2018, but I probably wrote it in the beginning of the year. Alright, so going into why I wrote the song, I was at a turning point in my life and I just moved back to Orlando from DeKalb, Illinois. Long story there, that will be for another video that I've actually filmed a podcast with, so you guys can go watch that if you want to hear that segment, because this I just want to focus on the song itself. I was late 18, early 19 years old at this point, and I've always loved EDM and obviously songwriting. So I wanted to make the first sentence of the first song that I ever wrote and put out publicly something extremely meaningful to myself. So the first line to the song is, "Do you ever stay up late when the moon is shining?" And I wrote that in specific because my pony growing up, who was extremely special to me, his name was Moonshine. So I wanted to incorporate his name into the first line of the lyric, even though it's not about the horse for the meaning of the song. I wanted to make all my music as personal as it could be. The rest of verse 1 is, I guess to start over, "Do you ever stay up late when the moon is shining, wondering where your mind is? Can't seem to find it, lost and screaming, it's blinding." I basically am an overthinker and I panic. So that's kind of what verse 1 is about. It's about being in your mind too much and you're overthinking your problems that your thoughts are just internally screaming. Yeah, very fun. For the pre-chorus, I have a kind of a whispery echoes. It goes, "Long nights with tons of flights, dreams to light up the skies, blasting music to my heart." And the long nights with tons of flights references a specific event that happened when I was 18 where I just got on a flight. It was an extremely long night, and the dreams to light up the sky, I just wanted to show the optimism I had. I took a very blind leap of faith and I went with a gut decision when I got on this flight. And blasting the music to my heart was, I just wanted to add that to show the passion and the adventure I have for life. So hopefully that makes sense. The chorus is, "You got me thinking out loud, trying things out, moving my ground, not looking down, you turn my life around." So looking back onto how I wrote those, I think it's very elementary with my rhyme scheme, but this is also 9 years ago. I've definitely grown as a songwriter since then. But when I put the word "you," I'm referencing a couple different people. A lot of friends and close relationships I had who have taught me an extreme amount of lessons. They gave me advice, and people who have just really mentored and guided me through hard times, which I'm pretty thankful for. So there was a good like 3 or 4 people that I wrote the you that would encounter. It wasn't just like one person. Trying things out, totally different experiences for me in life, so that's where that comes in. And I guess you could see it in my songwriting. My words do have direct meaning and correlation to my life just because it is my life that I am writing about, so that's how I get to the results for my songs. Moving my ground, not looking down, you turn my life around. Again, it just goes back to me trying new things, becoming an adult, learning, making mistakes, trying new things out. Verse 2 ties into the echoing for the pre-chorus. So the first line is daylight brings adventure every morning. So going off of the long nights with flights, I got off the flight, new situation in the morning, so that's why I wrote daylight brings adventures every morning. That's what life's about. It just kind of is the overall reference of life. It's an adventure. You never know what you're going to get into. Then dreams to light up the sky and blasting music to my heart, I already talked about. And then I have the chorus again, same thing as I guess the first chorus. The chorus just kind of repeats the chorus. Now the bridge is very sad and kind of does pull from trauma and depression because I was in a very panicky and depressed state. I've kind of been in and out of that state my whole life, but this bridge here does show that. Maybe there's no tomorrow, it will never come. Very dark right there. Just me thinking about all of my issues and problems just kind of bundling up in my brain, and me not having the will to get to tomorrow, so it might never come. No painted pictures, just pointless records with no songs. That's more of, I guess, the flourishy creative side of me coming out instead of like the direct life into song insertion. The no painted pictures, it's just, I would imagine a blank canvas, and how life is your life is a canvas, and you're painting it, you're adding the story and the color, but if there's no picture on the canvas, it's just kind of a vessel. And that's kind of how I viewed, I guess, myself with that whole depression thing, and I wasn't able to make anything of myself for life. And the same thing with the pointless record with no song. It's just like a record, but it should be playing music on it because that's what records do, but if there's nothing to create, then it's just kind of there. It's empty and it's soulless. The second part of the bridge is the opposite. It's kind of, you got through your dark depression stage, and now the light from the rainbow is now shining, and it goes up on a high, don't want to come down. You open my eyes, turn me around, chasing rainbows and soaring sound. So more completely different, but lighthearted. I got through the obstacles, and now I can breathe again, and I can finally regain confidence and strength. So that is the entirety of the lyrics, the verses, the chorus, the bridge, and the reasoning why I wrote everything. Now getting into the melody and the production side of things, I didn't know what genre I wanted to do in EDM. I really liked the progressive house, the big room, the tropical house. Also, this is my first song. I'm like, let me just find something that I like, and at the time I was very inspired by Kygo's Kids in Love, so that's how I have more of a progressive with some tropical housey elements and sounds that come out more in the chorus to this. Definitely different than what I am doing now. I think after 10 years of experimenting, songwriting, and really getting to know the vast world of EDM, I am pretty established that I really want to do the melodic dubstep, the melodic bass, the future bass, that stuff. But back then, when I was little baby, new at this, I was very unsure, so I'm like, progressive house? Tropical house? I don't know. Let me just go with something. So I started off, I wrote the lyrics for this, and then I wrote the melody, And then I worked with Adrian, whom I was friends with in Orlando, and he taught me on Logic about different production stuff, which I had no idea about. I didn't know how songs are produced. He had to really baby me through the whole entire process, and he was like, this is like a clap, this is a snare, this is drums, this is how you layer things, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not a full producer or anything. I could do little snippets here and there, but my focus and my strength and my love for music is in songwriting, and that's what I do think my specialty and strengths is. Like, I do DJ too, but my overall strength is songwriting, and that's really what I want to showcase and focus on for this series and going forward, and really explain the amount of like time and effort that I put into all the work that I put out. For the sound and the tone for the song, because it is more of a, not a sad song, but a song about hardship and overcoming, I wanted it to be a lot of emotional vocals and that soft build up into a more ambient drop. Having Leah, who was the singer of the song, great vocalist, her have a very airy tone, I think that helped bring out the emotion that I wanted to portray and for the listeners to hear. Many, many years later, I am proud of this song. Although production and lyrics wise, yeah, it's not my best work, but we all start somewhere, and I'm glad this one was my launch into the professional world of music. I enjoy talking about the music that I write, and I want to share more with everybody in the world, so I will be posting more videos. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a behind the lyrics for every song that I wrote, but I'm going to be filming more, and I hope you tune in. I want to be able to connect with people on a deeper level, whether you're a stranger or if I've known you for a couple years. I want to be able to explain why I wrote things, what inspired me, and yeah, that's what the series is going to be, and that's really all I have for right now. I will see you in the next video.